Welcome to It Takes Two. My name is Chris. I am one half of the It Takes Two crew, and today we are going to review the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8, Episode 11. Now, before we get into that, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. I am one half of the team. My teammate is recovering. My wife, send y'all. Make sure in the comments y'all write down, get well, Blair, send y'all love. She is there with us, even though she's not here physically. I will be here with Blair Bear, and Blair Bear will help me review the show. Are y'all ready? Now, on my board, you will see that I wrote Fire Gizelle. And you're probably thinking, what do that have to do with anything that happened in this episode tonight? By the end of this review, I think this will be self-explanatory, and hopefully a lot of y'all will see my point of view. If you don't see my point of view, please put in the comments below. All comments are welcome. Y'all ready? Let's get into this, right? So the episode starts off with Wendy and Eddie waking up their son early in the morning, giving him a surprise birthday greeting at 4:30 in the morning with a cupcake and things like that. That seems nice, right? Gizelle and Ashley, they are talking about coming up with an athletic line where, for women or people, I think it's for women, where they basically look fashionable while working out. Ashley is trying to come up with some idea to make some money because Michael funds her whole life. And the thing that was so funny about the scene to me was that, have you ever had that friend to where they have ideas, but they don't have the capital to really back it and things like that? Ashley just comes off as the friend to where it's like, hey, I have this idea. I had a restaurant idea. And then, I guess the restaurant closed down. Hey, how about we come up with an idea with these athletic wear for women and things like that to where it's fashionable and it's comfortable. And it's like, I think she's starting to feel that, hey, I'm not making my own money. Michael is funding my life. And at any moment, Michael can decide to be like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. And I don't think she want to be caught in that bind. So we move on to Karen. She sits down with her aunt and her cousin, and they are talking about renovating her grandmother's house. We're jumping from people to people, right? Then we check in on Mia, and she meets up with Robyn. They went to this salt sanctuary and things like that. I never heard of a salt sanctuary. Mia talks about how Robyn didn't come to the Mother's Day brunch. Keep that in mind. Mia said, hey, how come you didn't come to the Mother's Day brunch, And, she said, like, yeah, you know how Robyn gives her excuses that really don't make no sense. And then Robyn tells the story about how Karen had a picture of her family saved in her phone. She said, one day I went to Karen's house and I'm in her phone or something like that. She's showing me some of her phone. And in her saved photos, I see a picture of me and my family in her phone. And it was at that moment I knew that, hey, maybe Karen is obsessed with me. And they start showing flashbacks of basically her and Karen getting into it and things like that, and things that one allegedly said to Karen and things like that. So I thought that was funny and things of that nature. Mia talks about how she obtained a divorce lawyer a year ago. Now, if you don't know, Gordon lost his business. He got voted out of the family business, so he's not having as much capital as he did before. And if you know the history of Mia and Gordon, Mia was found in a strip club basically by Gordon, and Gordon basically saved her. You get what I'm saying? If you want to go so far and say that he was Captain Saver, that's what he was. And Robyn was basically explaining to us in her confessional that she probably thought, Mia that is, that, hey, I'm with Gordon, I will have this life of leisure, but Gordon lost his position in the company, in the family company. Money is probably a little more tighter than before, and she probably thought that she would have this life of leisure and luxury, but now she's like, oh, I got a divorce lawyer. I have to get out of this ship before it starts sinking and things like that. But listen, what do you expect from someone like that? You know what I'm saying, Gordon? Gordon left his wife to be with Mia. So you really can't even be mad at Mia for even thinking that way. You get what I'm saying? Let's move on. So Mia talks about how she obtained a divorce lawyer a year ago. And as I said, Robyn says Mia thought that after being with Gordon, she would be able to have a life of leisure. But that's not the case now. Then Mia asks Robyn, hey, are you and Juan in therapy? Robyn said, no, they are not. They are focused about just having fun with each other. Now, I'm about to blend some shows just to explain my point on this point. Hopefully, some of y'all who watch Potomac watch this show called Married at First Sight, right? And there's this couple named Brendan and Emily. And they are a terrible couple. Brendan don't want nothing to do with her. He treats her bad. And basically, he said, we need a reset. He said, let's focus on having fun. You know, let's not focus on the romantic stuff. Let's just focus on having fun. Whenever a guy starts talking about having fun, he's not really trying to fix any problems or trying to progress the relationship. I think Juan just got Robyn spinning her tail, chasing her tail and stuff like that, to where he's like, you know what, let's just focus on having fun. Let's go back to being how we used to be and things like that. But it doesn't fix the issues that they may have in their marriage. And maybe Robyn like it that way. You get what I'm saying? You know, she said she don't care. You know, that's her motto. She don't care. So let's move on. Wendy and Eddie are out at lunch and they both begin to talk about their businesses that they are building. Eddie is now getting into the weed business, and Wendy is still overproducing her YouTube channel. Have y'all been checking out her show on YouTube? I haven't checked it out yet, so I can't give an opinion on if it's good or bad. But she talked about how she got a new producer and how she had to make sure this is in place and this is in place. It just sounds like she's doing a little bit too much, and maybe she should just focus on, you know, her being the main attraction. If we gonna watch the YouTube channel, we ain't gonna watch it because of your producer. We gonna watch it because we like Wendy. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Wendy brings up the fact that Eddie comes to bed at 2 a.m., and that is where me and Eddie are like, I don't go to bed early. My wife, she goes to bed way earlier than I do. Very rarely do me and her go to bed at the same time. Very rarely. I'm probably in bed 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm out in the living room watching TV, catching up on shows. I may even play the game for a little bit. She been in bed for already 6-7 hours by then. You get what I'm saying? So I do understand. And once you get married and you get into that cycle to where it's like, hey, I like being up late. She's not really a night out as I am. So let's move on. Karen and Ray have a date, and they begin to talk about Karen's health. The doctor told Karen that she's doing too much and that she needs to slow down. Ray was like, I've been told you that. I understand, brother. Right? Instead, the doctor suggested that Karen should start working out more. She starts talking about inviting, because they changed subjects. They start talking about inviting Gizelle and Candiace along with Ashley and Wendy to her grandmother's property for a get-together, for them to bless the property and things like that. As you see in this scene, keep focus on this. Everyone responded once she sent the invite. She said, hey, guys, I'm having this. Make sure you have these shoes. Make sure you come here, meet me here. We all can meet in the Sprinter van, and we all can go together. She sent that text to Candiace, Ashley, Wendy, and Gizelle. Ashley, Candiace, and Wendy responded with hearts, confirming that they would be there. And Gizelle wrote back, sorry, I will not be able to make it. Now, here's my thing. I am at the point to where I think I am at the point where I say fire Gizelle. Why do I say fire Gizelle? Because she is becoming a hindrance to the overall show. We know she has a problem with Candiace, right? She basically said, listen here, as we go see in the episode, me and Candiace, we will never have a resolve. But what happens is it splits the cast. And what happened tonight is you're basically watching 2 shows in one. They are not filming together. Nobody really is. You got this group filming with this group filming with this group, and many times than not, they film in their own individual lives. And I'm like, it makes for a bad product. So I'm like, if we're going to fire Gizelle, we need to fire Gizelle because she's affecting the overall product. Not so much of the Candiace and Gizelle beef. That's just a byproduct of it. But I think because we will never see a full cast filming together because of what Candiace and Gizelle been through and things like that, I think that damages the whole show. So I'm like, no one should be bigger than the show. So we should fire Gizelle. That's just my opinion. Put in the comments below if y'all feeling what I'm feeling. I have more things to support that theory, but I want to know what y'all think about that. Let's move on though, right? So Nneka and her husband move into their house in Potomac. Gizelle meets at Nneka's house, right? And Nneka said that she got a second opinion about her trying for the baby. You know, she's trying to have the baby and things like that. And she's going to try IUI, I believe is what it is. Cherise stopped by and joined the ladies, and they joke about how Karen rents her house and how Nneka owns her house. We get to Gizelle POV about declining Karen's invitation. Watch this. She said she doesn't want to go anywhere with Wendy and Candiace. They show a flashback of Gizelle talking to Karen, saying there's no way there will be any reconciliation between her and Candiace. Because of what Candiace said at the reunion, Gizelle said she received death threats and that she is concerned about her safety. That's the same thing we heard about Monique. Remember when Monique was on the show? And she was like, oh my God, I need a bodyguard. I'm concerned about my safety. Now, here's the thing. A good group of y'all do take y'all hate for Gizelle a little bit too seriously. Y'all don't know that woman. I don't know that woman. And I live in the same state as her. I don't know her. Right? And what happens is you hearing it out her mouth. She's saying, hey, I will not be anywhere with Wendy and Candiace. So that already lets me know that they will never film as a whole group. That affects the chemistry of everyone on the show. That affects the product of the show. So I say fire Gizelle. like I say, listen, I'd rather start over at square one than for us to keep going on with this season. Because I think a lot of us can agree that this season's been a disappointment. And not a disappointment because we want to see Candiace just yell and holler and scream and all that stuff. You could just tell the chemistry of these ladies is off. And then, watch this. After Gizelle said that she's not going, Karen also received a text from Robyn saying, guess what? I ain't going either. And she said, now granted, just to put things in perspective, she said, sorry, this trip is kind of last minute and I already made plans with my nephew. We don't know if that's true. We don't know. I'm not gonna call you a liar. I don't know if she planned anything with her nephews and or her kids and things like that. But one thing that has been alleged is that, hey, Robyn usually followed Gizelle. So if Gizelle can influence people to not come to work, I say fire her. Y'all talk about firing Robyn, I say fire Gizelle. And not because she did anything wrong. Because listen here, I feel like Candiace have come into this season with this motive of, I'm going to get at Gizelle. I think Candiace has gone a little bit too far with this whole essay thing and things of that nature. Chris said at the reunion that he accepts her apology. Candiace said, I don't. I understand. It's not my place to say that you should or shouldn't accept someone's apology. But all I'm saying is if we care about the Real Housewives of Potomac and one person is actually causing a divide in the cast to where they choose not to film with someone, then we need to get rid of the tumor. We need to get rid of the cancer to save the patient. Right? Look at me talking like as if I'm a doctor. I ain't a doctor. But that's how I'm thinking. I'm like, if Gizelle can influence, hey, I'm not going to film this person, so y'all film over there. And if, quote unquote, Robyn says I'm not going to go, we're going to allege that she's following Gizelle, but she said she with her family. I say, hey, you're ruining the show. That's my opinion. In the comments below, let me know what y'all think about that. Right? So the ladies all get in the Sprinter van. And when I say the ladies, I'm talking about Wendy, Ashley, Candiace, and Nneka. See, look, even Nneka's with Wendy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'll move on, right? Karen talks about how Mia said she would not be coming as well because she feels like she's not going to be anyone's sloppy seconds, basically. Basically, you try to send me a second invite and basically try to make up for not inviting me the first time, so I ain't going to be your second option. Karen's like, cool, Mia. Okay, fine. Right? So Nneka, after they get done talking about that, Nneka begins to talk about hey, I'm having a housewarming and things like that. And she invites everyone, even Wendy. Ashley is talking about how things are changing in her life. And she said, you know what, me and Gizelle are going to start this clothing line, for working out and things like that. And Ashley, not Ashley, Candice and Wendy just start laughing in the corner. I was laughing too. I ain't going to hold you. And Ashley's like, listen here, the ones that be laughing the loudest, they jealous and they really, they preying on your downfall. I say, hey, listen. I say, Ashley, don't care about what nobody say. Let's see it. Let's see more action than talking about it. But let's move on. They finally arrive at Karen's grandmother's house. We meet some of Karen's family. There was a preacher there or somebody there, and he blesses the house. And the ladies changed to their overalls. And then out of nowhere, they started doing like housework outside. And I was like, wait a minute. Did you trick me to come into your grandmama's property to do yard work? Did Karen put me in a Sprinter van thinking I'm going here to give you some moral support? Hey, this is your grandmother's property. I am supporting what you want to do. And now I'm outside with a rake. I'm outside with a shovel. I'm outside in a, like you told me you are the grandchild of, or the great grandchild, however you said it, of a slave. And now you got me outside slaving? Karen. You could have hired some people to do some raking. You could have hired those people to do you could have hired some other folks to do some yard work. Don't invite me thinking I'm going to do one thing. And the next thing you telling me, hey, make sure like you bring some shoes you don't care about. What you mean? What you mean make sure I bring some shoes I don't care about? I care about all my shoes, okay? Make sure you bring some clothes you don't mind getting dirty. What you mean? I care about all my clothes. I don't want none of my clothes getting dirty. Let me move on. Right? Because I'm trying to get y'all out of here in less than 25 minutes. Right? So they sit down after they done work outside in the yard. And Wendy's basically talking about, she goes on this tangent talking about, like, when you join the show, when you join this cast, this is a sisterhood. And anyone who joins this group should enter in with the spirit of sisterhood, wanting to be a sister, basically, being a friend and things like that. And she felt like Nneka did not approach that. She felt like Nneka didn't come with that energy. And Wendy's like, you called me the B word. And Nneka was like, well, you cussed at me, like you cussed at me. Like, what did you expect me to do, basically? Like, and Wendy's like, listen here, I use a cuss word. I didn't cuss at you, but I use a cuss word. And they go into this little tangent about basically like who is right, who is wrong. Nneka's like, I never said anything about your sister. Wendy is basically standing up. You know how Wendy go on her little diatribe about, like, how Wendy do that weird stuff that she does. You know what I'm saying? Where she's talking, she's making a scene where really there's no need for there to be a scene. And basically Wendy is saying that due to Nneka's existence, I'm paraphrasing, she can't find in her heart to move on, because Nneka don't bring any peace to her, don't bring any peace to her being. Even through all that, Nneka still kept the invitation extended to Wendy. Here's my theory about Wendy and Nneka, and I'll get y'all out of here. I think at the reunion, they gonna view this season and actually see how it played out. And that's not in real time, because in real time you can just go off of hearsay, especially how Ashley kind of planted that seed and kind of ran away from it. But I think they go look back and actually see where words was actually not said or words that was said. And maybe at the reunion they could come to a resolve to where, hey, I thought you said this. Somebody told me you say this. And maybe at the reunion, we can see them actually bury the hatchet. Because truth be told, none of them is actually beefing with each other off of something that was done to them personally, from my opinion. Right? We did a review, a recap on the Essence article. Check that out. I believe Blair did a good job. She read for us. She gave us each line, so y'all can listen to that. Y'all don't even got to read it. Just listen to Blair read it. And we gave our reaction on it. And let me know what y'all think about this episode. Let me know how y'all feel about my theory about Fire Gizelle. You get what I'm saying? Because there has to be a need to people showing up to work. You get what I'm saying? This is not two shows into one. Y'all are the Housewives of Potomac. the Real Housewives of Potomac. And to split the cast, it damages the product. And if you want to save the product, I say, hey, it may be hard to get rid of Gizelle, but I say, hey, Gizelle, if you're not going to film with this person or these persons, you get what I'm saying? We may have to let you go because you're refusing to come to work. That's my opinion. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all be good.